What is going on, guys? It's me, Atari HMB. How's everyone doing today? God dang it. What's going on, peoples? Welcome, everyone, to the stream today. We got ourselves a nice stream going on today. Welcome, Ariel Ramirez. Welcome, Mr. OB. Oblivion MX. Texas Toes. Stride. And Brandon Lane, Vegeta Scales, The Dark Knight, Alexander Brown, as well as Super Saiyajin Rainbow, as well as Keaton, and, of course, we have to also welcome Roz and King Zando Edits. Welcome, everyone, to the stream today. Also, welcome DSM24. All right, so what are we going to do today? So today we're really going to be focusing on the... Oh my goodness, did I mute my mic? Is my mic muted? No, it's not muted. Yeah. All right, perfect. Yeah. All right, so today's stream is really going to be focused upon one thing and one thing only. And what is that one thing going to be? That one thing is going to be focusing on solely power scaling. God dang it. And in order to do this power scaling, I'm going to have to put on my new drip, so bear with me a moment. There we go. All right, so I got my new drip on, as you can see, and I mean, I can't, I got to have the new, you guys like my tie. I hope you like it. It's very nice. I bought it myself. Thank you. But anyway. So we're going to go ahead and start power scaling of characters. We're going to start doing random character power scaling today. I'm just going to, so there are going to be a couple rules. All right, so let's lay down the foundation of rules. So number one of the rules that we are going to have to lay down is, all right, so obviously I still have that from the last stream. So one of the rules is, and by the way, as you guys can see, we have the subscriber count right there. I'll let you know the live feedback. So anyway, as you're going to see, so first thing we're going to do is the set of rules is number one. Actually, which one is smaller? Yeah, let's utilize that one. Let's utilize the smallest. All right. So first and foremost, yeah, we're gonna have to. Yeah, we're going to have to get small in this one. All right, so first things first. When it comes to this list, there are going to be a couple rules. So the Q&A, that's going to be the list of people we're going to possibly do. There might be a queue. But anyway, the whole bottom line is, the rule is this. 5 minutes max. All right? That's the rule. The rule is 5 minutes max. Has to be well known to a degree. Has to be well known to a degree. If you don't know who the heck it is, I can't have you just say, I want you to power scale Bob the Builder in the 597th volume of the hidden novel that they released but wasn't canon because the author passed away. No, I'm not doing that. I appreciate you, Oblivion MX. Thank you so much. You as well. All right, so without further ado, folks, let's go ahead and break out our candy, flip the switch on, turn up the freaking dial, and let's go ahead and begin with some power scaling, opening up my chocolate candy. Let's begin. All right. So, let's begin with the first character. Who's going to be first? I want everyone in the chat to put first if you want to be first. Raise your hand. And based upon that, we'll go ahead and make a decision. See, Alexander Brown, me is not first. You gotta put first. You can't just put me. Put first. It has to be a 1, an S, and a T. All right, see. All right. Now we got to do a random pick list. All right. Well, you know what? Stride. Stride! God dang it. Please pick someone in the chat who you believe is worthy enough to have their character scaled first. Oh, mama. This chocolate candy so good. Jack! Oh. God dang it. Jackal! Who's your character? I would do the random wheel, but it'd take too long to type in all the names. Optimus Prime? Alright, let's go. Alright. Alright, so first of all, alright. Alright, so the first bad boom is Optimus Prime. Alright. We got 5 minutes. Right now, it's gonna be starting 3, 2, 1, go! Alright. First off, how strong is Optimus Prime? Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't freaking know how strong Optimus Prime is. I can't even spell his goddamn name. So first of all, see, I can't even spell his name. So first off, I'm gonna have to go to Optimus Prime. Oh God! I'm blocked. I'm a robot. Well, okay, unfortunately, gee, thanks a lot, VPN. You guys are fantastic. So I'm gonna have to change my VPN. Give me a moment. All right. All right. So first of all, foremost, let me go ahead and answer the question. Optimus Prime. All right. So as I was trying to say, let's go ahead and look at Optimus Prime. All right. So Optimus Prime, or it should be Optimus Prime, but whatever. Whatever. The point is, how strong is Optimus Prime? All right, so first and foremost, I'm going to go ahead and look at a respect thread. I'm going to cheat. Let's see here. Respect thread. All right, see. I better not, like, bro. Ah, dang, bro. Nah, bro. It's because ExpressVPN. Y'all better stop playing with me. Better have me, All right, let's do a perspective. All right, we got 3 more minutes left. I'm not going to Comic Vine. We all know how Comic Vine people are. It's like Andre said. They're the type of people say, hey, yo, man, it's a chain reaction, man. It's a chain reaction, goddamn. So anyway. So let's talk about Optimus Prime. Launches a punch hard enough to set his fist on fire. Collapses a large roof. Breaks from a pile of tacos. Tarragons. Okay, what the hell is the context of the feat? All right, let's see. Interesting. That was pathetic. I'd expect more from Optimus Prime. So clearly, that's not as strong as he can be. There's something missing. Where are the Unicron scans? We need more. So Optimus Prime, as far as I'm concerned, is a character who's stronger than the average. Based upon this, stops a moving train, however, it takes him considerable time to do. Why would it take him considerable time to do? Couldn't find your video. Oops. 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 Are you kidding me? Pathetic. All right, next up. Let's find another one. Restaurant of Worry. Welcome to the stream. I know, what is this? Prime version? Optimus Prime Transformers Prime. Oh, that sucks! I don't want the weakest one. Give me the strong one. Goodness, how hard is it to have the weakest or the strong one? All right, let's see. Transformers Shattered Glass. Michael Bay's Transformers. What is this? This sucks! Okay, let's try another one. Optimus Prime. Sadly, no, Optimus Prime is indeed powerful, but his best feats during Dark Cybertron storyline puts him at multiversal. What? Okay, hold on. I gotta click on this. The hell is this all about? All right. Let's see. Okay, interesting question, but it would kind of be one-sided if we use a normal shockwave while I use the region as... Shut up. I don't care. Anyway, too long, didn't read. Let's read this scan. Interesting. This is actually... All right. Hold on. All right. Or the superstition. You all Cybertron should know that. This is no superstition. Hidden from the Jaxus and his adepts, the Dark Cybertron prophecy is the literal truth. Even in that right, scientists, how would it possibly benefit you? You remind me of Megatron. Your minds are so small. Megatron and his Decepticons provided me with tools, but my goals were never theirs. I exist to ensure Cybertron's domination of resources. Shockwave ordered you to destroy Waspinator. Why do you force Waspinator to witness these? Quiet, insect. We must get words to the others. This is bad. And worse than you thought it would be. When you started helping, right, Metal Hawk? I remember you from, time to go. Well, me, Galvatron, what does it mean to truly dominate? You and Nova civilized the 13 tribes of Cybertron's ancient past, and what did you bring forth? Endless chaos and war. That is not domination. Nova Prime gained absolute power over the dead universe. But to what end? Okay, so we already got a universal statement. Nice. Now, I hold his power in this universe. That is your secret? That you are merely another tyrant? No, Galvatron. I command space-time with quite a specific mandate. All right, let's go! Yeah, let's go! Okay. So, death is meaningless. Okay, he's dead. Dead. Make the most of such concepts. They won't exist for much longer. Oh, shoot! He can control concept of death! Time to withdraw. If you have any sense, Deadwing, you'll do the same. You think you're here to save the universe, don't you? But you have it backward. The universe exists to save us, fuel Cybertron in an endless forever, and you are too late to disable the time drive. We got levels of infinity. Okay, obviously we went over 5 minutes. This shouldn't have taken this long, but I'm invested. Let me finish. We'll cease to the meaning of this, okay? I remove the very concept of change, of past. Yo, let's go! From the psychics of this universe, the stars, an ultimate black hole here, Cybertron. All of space and all of time shall exist at a single point, an ultimate singularity, and the world will consume all the resources of the universe in an endless moment. This is the only space that is... Cybertron, up in the universe, in the very concepts forever in the universe, so we see feet in front of them. God dang! What and defend beyond from across the universe comes from my army, Ammonites, 70 billion strong, and that Ammonites, what is it, the Bible? Anyway, all the universe, all history shall collapse into me. All the universe, all history, that's what I'm talking about. So based on this information, just on brazing through this, it definitely does seem to imply that there is some level of multiversality. So I'm going to say on a very simple notion that our boy Optimus Prime has to at least be in the multiversal ranges if we're using the Cybertron-based comics. And these scans do not lie. I don't think there's any hidden context that needs to be double analyzed like DC. I think it's a lot more straightforward than DC comics are, and it kind of makes a lot of sense. So I would suspect that Optimus Prime at what we're getting is a solid multiverse level fighter, given that he can deal with beings who are threatening all of history and eradication and even concepts of death. Shockwave plan is to merge all universes. There are infinite universes. Hypernova. Yep. Fair. Predecessors I saw. Like everyone says. Wait, where the hell is say infinite universes? Golden era. All universes to be one. To be mine. Space and time. Shabbat. Supernova. It doesn't confirm there's infinite. I mean, I don't think there wouldn't be infinite, but it doesn't really confirm it. He is stated as most knowledgeable entity in the universe. Brainiac. Blah, 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 live 1,000 years. Blah, blah. Yup. Punch. Not. Wait, hold up. Not your punches. They were not. You hurt me when we first met. Brainiac felt nothing to. Oh, okay. Hold on. What is this? As well as the department showed in your versus feats. Okay, yeah. All right, yep. Why are we talking about Superman? I don't care about Superman. Anyway, I guess the bottom line is, based upon the context that I'm getting from this, I can agree that there's definitely multiversal standing. All right. So to answer the question, has the jury reached a verdict? Stop making all that noise, dog. So has the jury reached a verdict? Okay, well, let's talk about what the verdict is. The verdict is this. Optimus Prime is at least going to be the bare basic minimum of So what is the result? So we're going to go ahead and make a tab for the results. We're going to have results. Sorry. Oh, my voice. All right, so let's go ahead and have a tab to make it for results. As Pyra would say, prominence revolt. But, you know, I'm not here to argue about Pyra. I'm here to provide you guys with efficient evidence that will give you the exact answers you're looking for. So let's go ahead and get the color green. I'm going to go ahead and get a nice outline. I want my outline to be white. I want it to be big. And I want it to say... So the conclusion, multiversal. That is our conclusion. So, Optimus Prime is multiversal. I think that's a solid take. I think that is the most consistent take based on other information, because I actually know that Optimus Prime has higher scaling based on other statements of Unicron. But I believe for the 5 minutes we had, that is perfect enough. Now, obviously I went over, but hey, that was the first round. All right, there's a little bit of grace period. All right, Bader. Hey, let's go to the next round. All right, who's second? Who is second? All right, who is the second baboon today? All right, who's next? Yin Townshend says, Atari. There has been a lot of talk on Reddit about the universal tree scan being fake. Is that true? Can you give us a link to where you got it from? And is it official? First off, Ian Townsend, I actually already checked. I actually already went to a VPN that literally took me into another country. And anyone who tells you a VPN doesn't work, they're lying. The only way that wouldn't work, and it wouldn't matter because you can always go to the Onion router. And if you go to the Onion router, you shouldn't have any restrictions. Clearly, the VPN has limitations. It's not going to work based on what I'm able to see there. So I'm sorry to say, but it won't work. All right, number two. Who's number two? All right, somebody got to go. Blah, blah, blah. All right, so let me go ahead and do a wheel. All right, so let me see. Wheel randomizer. Yeah, let's do this. All right, wheel of names. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah. All right, let's pick a bunch of names. All right, who's going to be in the names? All right, so we're going to put Vegeta Scales. We're going to put RJ. We're going to put Oblivion MX. We're going to put the Dark Knight 47. Texas Toast. DJ B. Michael Braxton. Alexander Brown. Yamcha Spirit, King, God dang it, Zando Edits. All All right, who else is next? Who did I not put? Brandon Lane. Did we get random citizen? Random citizen. All right, so these are the people I have in. Okay, there's King Absalon as well. All right, so let's stop it right there. King Absalon. All right, Mr. Obi. We're gonna put Mr. Obi too. All right, so close ad. Shut up. I don't need your help. Shuffle short. Add image. I'm not adding a goddamn image version. Who cares? Okay. All right, let's find out who goes second. Well, would you look at that? Mr. Obi. Oh, would you look at that? You're next. So I'm going to go ahead and remove you off the list because you're going second. All right, so let's go. Mr. Obi. Pick your character to power scale. God dang it. As long as it's a character we know and as long as it's 5 minutes in max. And I'll do the best that I can. Let's go. He asked it. Oh, he did it to me. He did it. Why did you have to do it to me? I did not know I had to do it to me like that, my friend. Oh my goodness. I just realized during the stream, we went up by 2 subscribers. Like, look at that. Oh my gosh. Yes, we went from 1,691 to 2. Literally, I think we went 1,680 something. But awesome. Yeah, we got 2 subscribers. Let's go, Abby. Hey, Goku, make sure you get more subscribers. I mean, well, it's very, very obvious that you want to train with bubbles. But first, you have to pass my exam. Make me laugh. Again. All right, let's try here. So let's go ahead and talk about eternal Kala. Okay, so the question was, how strong are Kala demons in eternal Kala? Because I have them at 38th dimensional via higher temporality and spatiality. Oh, this is kind of not fair because he's asking me. Why are you asking me? Like, how would I know? I don't know eternal Kala. I don't scale them. No, I'm just kidding. Eternal Kala demons. It's funny that he calls them by their English name when they're called Daimonicus, but I completely understand what you're talking about. All right, so let's talk a little bit about Daimonicus. And just clarify, is the Daimonicus who you're talking about? Yes or no? Daimonicus, is that who you're talking about, or are you looking for scaling for another character in particularly? Giggity, 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 giggity. Beep, 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 beep. All right, so let's go here. Let's go here. All right, so let's see, Mr. Obi. I haven't. Oh my goodness, I haven't seen the answer. So I'm going to go under the presupposition that you're talking about the Daimonicus, to which if you answer your question, how strong are they in Eternal Kala? All right, well, let's say no. Okay, anyway, so to answer your question, and I'm going to take this a lot more serious this time because I actually have the answer. Let's scroll down. And go through all of Atari's art and all of his beautiful stuff he's put out. All right, so let's talk a little bit about how exactly strong are the Daimonicus in Eternal Kala. So to answer your question, Mr. Obi, that's going to... first off, Shinigami Midabel solos. To answer your question, we're going to have to start around the chapter where Wes actually fought the creature. All right, so that's actually going to begin in the earlier on portions of the chapter. So first and foremost, it all really starts around when they got the top charms. So to understand a little bit about how strong they are, this is how we're going to understand this. So first and foremost, the top charms are special areas around to the users to withstand the harsh realities of temporal La'a, and that can also contrast the eternal Kala. This is why they were able to comprehend that higher infinities exist. The boys become even more confident to their competitive nature. This realization alone shot their power significantly. Wow, now that I know a lot of power exists, and he says, I won't stop until I transcend to their level. And essentially, using the 2 earrings they had as their signature takes, and now they are excelling to higher heights. So now that we understand that they're accelerating to higher heights, we already know they were capable of destroying a universe before. But beforehand, with the power they possessed, when Wes was sent out on a mission, particularly, he was sent out on this mission. Let's see how many minutes we got. We got 4 minutes. All right, so yep, all right, 4 more minutes. So he pretty much goes to fight one of the creatures he's looking for. That after fighting one of the creatures, essentially, hold on, I kind of skipped. I skipped to the battle. Oh my goodness, I'm sorry. Okay, what happens is he calls him ugly. He gets launched off the planet they were fighting on. This planet was unknown. Okay, apparently it doesn't necessarily have a name, but it does have a blue atmosphere and life on it. Wes is then sent flying over. Of course, he sent him to multiple planets, bursting through them, and literally, as he was surprised to see that such a creature was strong, Wes still took relative damage. This damage was mostly due to Wes being caught off guard, to give you the author's take. Of course, the creature appears to Wes at a flash and immediately does an attack that, of course, as you can see, has a shockwave impact force that was so violent it was seen throughout a galaxy. To answer the further question Wes was able to block it, taking minimal damage mostly to his clothes, and he didn't think it was going to be that bad. Of course, the creature took out 1/5 of the entire galaxy, and with that said, taking out 1/5 of the galaxy, Wes was able to use Breakthrough and was able to power up even more than before. When Wes was powered up into his powered up state, he immediately goes ahead and blips it. In about 10 zeptoseconds, the creature's head was stripped from its foundation. So obviously, Wes displayed a level of speed that the creature could not even comprehend. The creature didn't even know it had even died yet. Further context goes to see that another variant of it was transformed, and of course this same creature, known as a Demonicus by the way, Demonicus Gold, went to go fight Wes. It says here in subspace, the space between universes, and he literally tells him that I will acknowledge your strength if I hadn't been more careful. You would have turned my head as well, yet you survived the end of that universe and its timeline, quite impressive. So dealing with the temporality, they were just able to destroy the baseline of the universe and the overall timeline that coexists within itself. As you can see, it's shattering right here on the upper panel. Obviously, we get this beautiful lady here just reading her storybook. Yeah, cool beans. Next! And that's to go to the next chapter, essentially. And then let's see here. Oh my goodness. So yeah, then we go into chapter 3. Chapter 3 is really important because we then have the assembly. Essentially, this is when the battle gets a little bit more epic. Essentially, the creature was going to hurt him, and he obviously gets slapped by, of course, a breakthrough aced. So this is really good. It says, so another creature like this will be difficult now. He's like, this will be difficult. If I don't end this now, essentially. Anyway, the creature powers up, and they are surprised, and he says, now you will see the power of what we Daimonicus can achieve. So, of course, the creature goes ahead and then asks him a rhetorical question. How does it feel to fight my army of 10 billion? And then proceeds to attack him with 10 billion different universe-ending creatures. Of course, they use a attack called Univis Crusher. Oh my goodness, we got 1 minute left. Univis Crusher, and after utilizing that, the attack was so powerful, the creatures all get obliterated. He is completely shocked, and literally the entire multiverse level 1 is cracked. Or sorry, multiverse level 2 is cracked. Afterwards, you could see a debris of many universes that have been bursted, and he said, damn, he took absolutely no damage. Despite our increase in power, it wasn't enough. We may have to retreat. He says, well, I estimated about 100 trillion universes were destroyed. That attack was likely multiplied cube, but I doubt you could release it again, though impressive for mortals. Took no damage whatsoever, and he said, now die with this multiverse. The implication here is that this creature would have completely obliterated the entire multiverse with a single attack here. So to answer your question, a Daimonicus would fall under the lines of Multiverse Plus, under the compounds of the lower ends of fifth dimensionality, or even possibly a slightly edge in the middle of fifth dimensionality. After he was able to release the attack, of course, it gets shattered by Chad Sangre, and yeah, you guys know the West. With a snap of the finger, creature gets bodied. But anyway, we literally hit the 5-minute mark right there. So what is the verdict of this question overall? Well, I'll go ahead and tell you. The verdict is Daimonicus are multiverse plus. Okay. There's your answer. So I know you put them at 38D, but really the reality is I think the mistake is that we have to consider that there has not been any creatures. The creature was not even a chance against anyone from Eternal Kala. It's not even on their radar at the time. Okay. Now, that wasn't your question. I did ask earlier. But again, you are still able to participate again as well. But anyway, that answers the question. Bottom line, that is the end of that question. So yeah, overall Multiverse Plus 5D is a great placement. If you were asking a question about the cosmology, that's a different story. But anyway, I hope that satisfies your answer. Yeah, oh, absolutely. MB for being vague. I was talking about Mystic and others. Regardless, it was a great... Oh, see, Mr. Obi, you should have told me. See, that's what I'm saying, man. All right, all right. See, now, man, see, chat. Do you think we should answer the question? It's chat. Does chat want to get the answer to that question? Chat, you guys want the answer to that question? You want the answer to the question? It'll take another 5 minutes, but I can go ahead and explain that too, as that's the question. So it's up to chat. Chat, y'all, what do y'all think? All right, that's one yes. That's two yes. Or more like a ye. That's three. That's four. All right, we'll go ahead and give it a shot. So the question was, generally speaking, all right, so now the question is really based upon, sorry, not Eternal Call of Demons, I guess even to say the higher ups. That's a great question. I'm glad you asked. But anyway, to answer the question, essentially, it's really going to come down to Eternal Call members. So Eternal Call members all have a different ranking. All right, so we're going to start the question in 2, 1, go. Okay. So to answer the question, basically, Eternal Call members are all individuals of a particular rank. Every member has a different rank, a particular order of magnitude they follow, and an infrastructure they go under. So we're going to go ahead and talk a little bit about how that really applies to the series overall, a little bit about what they're capable of doing. To understand a little bit about these characters, you're going to have to first look at an interaction between two individuals that had a battle. So if we look at the beginning of chapter 3, we actually do get news and acknowledgement. We're going to talk a little bit about that, but first you need to see the first chapter to get some context. For those who've never read Eternal Call, I can go ahead and give you the context. Essentially, let's talk a little bit about the first things that happened in the first chapter. So the first chapter, we're going to have a little bit of a feat. So obviously you have Ace and West. Ace got annoyed, and after getting flung through the sun, he decides to use an attack called Celestial Crusher. West is able to deflect it, and that attack goes all the way to the Orion's belt and blows all 3 of the stars up. After blowing up the 3 stars, they then power up into a more powerful form. They go ahead and clash fists. The attack is so impressive that the universe is now cracking under the pressure. According to the Somewhere in a Higher Reality outside of time and space, it says, Sir, two mortals are going to destroy the Omega Universe. Which essentially is her panicking because Chakra she's like losing her mind. Like, oh my gosh, you're going to destroy it. And then here we get into, okay, Chakra, just send in Monad. What? Monad? And then you go into the line. You've been summoned to stop or eliminate 2 mortals with extraordinary power. Within a few seconds, they will destroy the Omega Universe. Granted, we have an eternity to evaluate the situation, since we are outside of time. Oh, sounds fun. So, are you talking about destroying the universe along with the timeline, or just the observable? Every universe is infinite, sir. These mortals are going beyond the spatial three-dimensional infinity for this universe and are affecting even the temporal timeline, the 4th dimension. That's it? Pathetic. My 5-year-old can do that while asleep. Then we go on to the character Monad appears, grabs Ace by the hand, flicks West, immediately gets sent outside into what it looks like a wormhole, into a place where he says beyond the 3D portion of the Omega universe. Ugh, I feel like I'm dying of old age, or am I being born or dying of old age? So Wes wasn't sure. Wes felt like he was a baby but an old man at the same time, because they were in the temporal dimension of the Omega universe. Monad comes to taunt him, saying, "Come on, if you can't exceed causality, being bounded by this lower temporal time, then you can't hope to survive an eternal Kala." Essentially, Wes powers up and overcomes it. Well done. You actually resist being bounded by time, and did it in no time. Pun intended, of course. Wes goes to use the signature attack, Pyro Jump. Monad swiftly dodges out the way, flicks him once more, sends him flying, cracks him outside of the very fabric of the universe into subspace. If you look here, you can see the spatial icon. I can point it out for you guys. I'm going to put a little dot on the screen to kind of give you guys an indication of where I'm pointing at. So the dot here. So if you guys look carefully here, so right about here. So that green dot I just placed on the screen, yeah, that right there. Yeah, right here. That is actually a symbol for the fifth dimension. So beyond the temporal normality of the world. So that's the fifth dimension there. And then he goes into the statement. You just don't get it, do you? Your careless fighting is going to destroy this multiverse. Or maybe it's time I show you what real power is. So Monad charges his attack, gets ready, releases it, and then they have the narration. The term multiverse varies for humans, but to people from Eternal Kala, there are levels. Multiverse level 1, a myriad, which myriad in this context is infinite, a myriad of universes folded into a fourth dimensional manifold. God dang it, how many more time do we have? I need to hurry up with this. All right, we got like 2 minutes left. Next is the multiverse level 2, an infinite number of multiverse level 1s, and it says are stored into a singular cube. There are an infinite number of these cubes containing an infinite number of multiverse 1s each. So this entire multiverse 1 is infinite, so most people would circumvent this to be 4D plus to 5D. So imagine there are infinite 5D worlds in these squares. So most people kind of come to the subclusion that, okay, maybe it's 6D, depending on how you want to go about it. There are an infinite number of these cubes containing infinite numbers of each multiverse 1s. Then, multiverse level 3, an infinite number of level 2s are contained into what we call a shine shard. All right, so most people would circumvent that this categorized by versus battle standards. Most people would assert that it's 7D. I'm not saying it is, I'm just saying what most people would say. Next is, yet they are not finite. All contained within a hyperdimensional nexus, a shine quirk, which, of course, you would move a dimension higher. Next here, this is the confusion part that most people overlook. Yet even an endless number of shine quirks is a mere infinitesimal particle to the cosmic space, which expands infinitely. Cosmic space is infinite, but the shine quirk is infinitesimal, meaning a finite space in the cosmic space is infinitely greater than the shine quirk, meaning that's 2 levels of infinity that you would go by. So in most cases, we had the 5th dimension here, 4th dimension, then you move one dimension up for level 2, then level 3, then to go over to level 4, multiverse level 4 essentially, which is the shine quirk. Then there's level 5, of course, but the shine quirk is infinitely smaller than just a finite portion, and then that is even infinite itself. So it's an infinity within an infinity, so you would move 2 points there. So most people would say, oh, that's 10th dimension. Well, it depends on you. Then all of that would be contained. All of such is contained here in the Pearl of Order, the multiverse level 6. Yet it was still crushable from Monad's might. Nothing could describe the countless lives lost. Don't worry, you're alive because of my aura. But remember, kid, if I let go, the harsh nature of this order, space will tear every essence of your conscience and soul. Then it's shown here. What W witnessed was beyond his comprehension. Even with his 4th dimensional prowess, he could not make sense of what he saw. Even though I stand many infinities above you, you are still interested in me, kid. Join Eternal Kala. So, obviously, that is one of the scans that we're talking about. I am going to go over to one more that he obviously bring to my attention. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit about Eternal Kala there, but let's go into the last statement that they had for the secondary level. I think it was it chapter 2? I think it was chapter 2. Yeah, chapter 2. Was it chapter 2? No, it wasn't chapter 2. No, it's not chapter 2. No, it's not chapter 2. Yeah, I think it was chapter 4, actually. Yeah, chapter 4. Yeah, so let's give you guys a little bit of a taste of what chapter 4 was like. So essentially, because the whole point is to show you, like, the example, how strong are they? Now, this is obviously going to take a little bit more. See, we're 2 minutes over, god dang it. All right, anyway, long story short, essentially, Eternal Kala has ranked members. As you can see, this is Messenger. He's 35 eons old. Rank is X. Delivers messages to those within Eternal Kala. Next is Chakra, 20 eons. Rank X. Makes reports and organizes documents for Eternal Kala. As you can see, the generalization is that most of them are rank X. And this is the majority of the members there. So that is essentially the idea of Eternal Kala, is that most of these members are rank X. Not all of them specialize in the same power. Some of them have different properties overall. So, for example, Yishi, he studies the energy levels of different realms and dimensions. Watcher observes the outside world of Kala and the lower dimensional existences. So everyone has their own job that they have and they utilize and specialize in. So the idea is when you have someone like Sangre, who was literally sent over as a report, as you've seen from the prior chapter, she literally tells him after killing that, he's like, "What? Who are you? What about the mission? You two were gonna die. The creature was severely out of your league. Now let's go. Oh, you two are about the same level. Well, W here is about 2% stronger than you, but that's fine. You're coming too." Then a giant ball comes and multiverse level 6, where the shine quirk, multiverse level 4, where the shine quirk was literally evaporated in some portion, was done. And it was by this girl here. Another eternal demon. Well, you won't be stealing another innocent soul. That's probably why he said eternal demon, probably because Violad was making fun of Sangre. And she's like, "Oh, she's Violad from Temporal La'a. It's too early to talk about that now." Well, who the hell is she? And that's pretty much it. Black implosion, blood clot. The energy was utilized to a portion in a degree that was so powerful that it not only destroyed one, but several pearls of order. The one that we talked about that destroyed earlier, and literally two, they become evaporated into a mist. She literally attacked hard, sent flying into rocks. She's saying she certainly got a 50% stronger. And talking about she needs a retreat. She pops up. West comes in with the pyro jump. And it does nothing, literally. And then she says, you okay? You must be hurt. You can come back to Eternal Kala. Next, she says, shit. She swears. And then we see a big blast that occurs even from this red-looking cube. And you might be wondering what that is. I'll talk about that in a moment. And she's like, she's much stronger than 5 eons ago. Good job distracting her. But that won't hurt her. He can escape Eternal Kala. Of course, she comes in and she says, "You're going to die for that comet, you beep." No! And then obviously the creature's coming, gets grabbed by Mystic, and then, can't let them die today. Crushes it with his bare hands. And pretty much, yeah. So that's kind of the idea we get. Every character is going to be different, but that is like the idea and the essence of what we're getting from Eternal Kala. So to answer the question, long story short, Eternal Kala sits in a different realm. So to give you the last scan of context, here is Chakra describing the multiverse, essentially, where she talks about the universe infinitely lower than the multiverse level 2, which is infinitely greater. Shine Shard, multiverse level 3, infinitely greater. Shine Short, then the cosmic dust, and then the Pearl of Order, and then we have the Orb of Origin. That was that red space you saw earlier. The Orb of Origin is infinitely bigger than these orbs we saw here. Now, again, this is all contained. Eternal Kala, a realm outside of the 7 multiversal structures of space and time, outside of the multiverse we are here. So not each of these each has their own, you can argue, temporality, but the temporality of levels is only subjected to Eternal Kala. So if you were to go off of the idea that this is 4D, this is 5D, 6D, 7D, and then we've seen that there's infinitesimal small, so 8 and 9D, 10D for the Pearl of Order, and then 11D, if you wanted to go by the idea of the Orbs of Origin, you can. Eternal Kala would obviously sit even greater than that. That is just the general structure. She even talks about the temporal and she explains it's literally a parallel world comprised of the polarities that make up each other. Temporal La'a is a separate yet connected variant of Eternal Kala. They're two sides of the same coin. And just like two sides of the same coin, that coin is not flat. Thus, an extra dimensional space exists. It is said that bypassing this can bring one to the second level of Eternal Kala as well as likewise with Temporal Law. But that's all I could say while keeping it simple. So obviously, in this case, as most people would say, oh, so is Eternal Kala 12D? I would say not necessarily. It's a little more complicated than that. But if you want to join the conclusion that it is 12D, you certainly can. You could say that if you want. I'm not going to say you're wrong, and I won't confirm or deny. I will say that if you did make that conclusion, that is a reasonable, logical conclusion. To kind of give you a little bit of an idea of what Eternal Kala characters can do, this is an example of something that happened in the prior chapter where Ace was talking to a girl, and Violetta was very upset. She powered up, caused a big explosion in Temporal La'a, and it was so great that even Ace got sent flying and was going to die. And then he gets stopped and saved, and he was like, huh? And he's like, damn it, I'll kill that girl. And then she gets clocked right in the head by, Maestra Judith. So as you can see, Violette gets sent flying into a orb of origin, and it completely shatters. And they are completely shocked by how much power it would take to do that. Literally, and calls her dumbass. What the hell are you throwing tantrums? And she's been taken out in one hit. Madame Violette, and they're just so shocked because Violette is like extremely powerful, and she's just like, what the heck was that? And then she gets flicked and tells that the Queen of Temporal Law wants a message for her, and she calls her weak. Said in the past 5 eons you've only increased this much. So literally Violette is considered weak to her maestra. So that's essentially it. And then we go into the next portion. Overall, I'm just going to keep it simple. There are other portions of the scans that do occur from the comic. Pause. Right here, as you can see, she talks about this is the dimension of polarity that lies outside of Eternal Kala, or rather, it's on the edges of creation. And so you can see here, this is the space between Eternal Kala and Temporal La'a. So as you can see, there is a little bit more of a cosmology to explore. So she takes him here to train, to kind of help him increase his power. She says, it teaches you some of my techniques. It reach you about 1/50 seconds of an eon. That's how long it would take him to usually reach there. But she goes to help him in that training. And essentially, the only thing I would even say after that, to kind of give you guys a little bit of an idea, is this scan here. This is the last one. I know, I'm way over. Oh my God, I'm like 12 minutes in this crap. 12 minutes. God dang it. All right, but anyway, long story short, Multiverse Level 7, the Orb of Origin, contains infinite subsets of endless pearls of order. Obviously explained by the character here, who's also known as Asher. He explains here are mere play toys for the youth in Eternal Kala 2. So those are toys. Eternal Kala does have a level 2, and those are toys. Yes, they are toys. I don't know what the chat's reaction is to that, but they are toys. Those Orbs of Origin are toys to the kids of Eternal Kala 2. They're just little bouncy balls, I guess. Even to the point where it says, well, they look important. This is a side bonus chapter. As you can see, bonus chapter, Monad was looking. He said, what is she doing here? Obviously he says, so what's gotten into you? What's gotten you so shook? Monad's like, why would they descend from Kala level 2 just to stroll around at this level? Hey, Monad, who is she? Kala level what? And then they go into, that's the Queen of Eternal Kala. In terms of power, she is no doubt the top 5 strongest beings in Kala. Even stronger than you? No question. In fact, the 2 men besides her are even tougher than I. Which, as you can see, you recognize the character we just had described, the Orb of Origin. There's nothing more but a plaything for them. And the last thing no, just kidding. Anyway, the last thing besides the rebooted artwork of them, and yes, that is Messenger, is to show you the final portion in... Where's the final portion? God dang it, where is it? The last final portion to show you is this chapter where we do have a character where Mystic says, not bad, there's plenty who are also strong. You know, the Queen of Kala, so I might as well fill you in. He says, the right hand of the Queen of Kala is Ark. He's the only being I know who's gotten so close to the Queen. Is he strong? His power is beyond strength. Rumor has it he resides in Eternal Kala 9, though I don't even know if such a place exists. And of course, obviously, they're completely shocked. And this is the scan where Mr. Obi was looking at it. He said, Of course, and she's like, wait, a ninth to Eternal Kala? I've heard of a possible third, but a ninth? Even I didn't know about that. And Sangre is the same rank as Mystic, but she's, whatever. Anyway, of course, I've never met the guy myself. Granted, I doubt I'd be able to currently for now, but you'd have to first match up with the other ranks in Eternal Kala. Based on your status, I'd say you're about rank 3, which is not bad, just 7 more to go until you reach Sangre's levels. Regardless, you have a long way to go. My God, to think that Eternal Kala has a level 9, let alone the fact I'm not even in the top 10,000. It's like I'm in a comic book with celestial beings beyond human comprehension. Even humanity's string theory can't describe this mess. And that's essentially where it comes down to. So you guys make do with that what you want. The whole bottom line information, where would I say this would go at? I'm just going to keep it around the ballpark, keep it humble, and just say this. In terms of how strong most would probably assert them to be. Somewhere around there. What do you guys think, chat? Chat! Now y'all turn. Before we go ahead and spin the next wheel, what does the chat think about Eternal Kala? Go ahead, chat. Go ahead, throw in. Where do you place them? Where would you place most of the characters you've seen? Audrey said the Jiren. The Jiren? Wait, does he look like Jiren? Hold up. Does he actually look like Jiren? Oh, yeah, I forgot this scene. Yeah. Hey, does he look like Jiren? I kind of see it now. Sorry. Check your comments on the post. I placed them Solo's your verse. Vegeta scales. Hyperversal is cool. That's where I would place them, but that's not really where I place them. That's actually just where I'm going to say most will place them. Interesting. Above complex multiversal entities, I guess, would level. His description is 100. His 100%. Jiren. I wanna point out one more thing, guys. Look at the top. Look at the top of his head. No, seriously, look at the top of his head. You see the symbol on his head? Look at that symbol on his head. And now that you saw the symbol on his head, the only thing I will show you after that symbol on his head is just this symbol. And look at that symbol. And now, BT Sangre. When I had the question, and that's BT Sangre. That's the image on her head. Oh, yeah, you noticed that. And this is the same girl that people said Sailor Galaxia would have at least a high difficulty, so, I don't know. What do you guys think? Anyway, moving on. Let's see here. It's Jelly! Thank you for the $1 donation. I much appreciate it. That is great. Also, I just noticed something, guys. You ever noticed the chat's not showing up on the live stream? Why is the chat not showing? You telling me this whole time y'all never told me the chat wasn't showing up? What the heck is wrong with y'all, guys? Y'all should have told me the chat wasn't showing up, man. I would have... Sorry, I would have fixed that like 5 million bacons ago. All right, let's go ahead and fix that. Let's get the chat popping. Let's get the chat. Show up. 3, 2, 1. Yeah, there we go. Boom. Look at that. So anyway, yeah. All right, so I'm going to go back to page 24 and 27. How would Annals Voldigold and Wang Lang compare? I don't know how they would compare. Could all fiction affect these beings? Jackal, relax! Vegeta scales, relax! I don't know. I don't know if all fiction can work on these beings. You guys decide. I'm not going to necessarily say. Do you guys think all fiction would work on these characters? Tell me. The only character I would say it might not possibly work on is the Queen of Eternal Kala. Other than the Queen of Eternal Kala, and maybe Arc, I don't know. I don't know where if all fiction will work on them. It's up to you. You decide. Does all fiction work on beings at that level? It's up to you guys. Anyway, we have successfully answered the question. All right, and that's only because everyone wanted me to. All right, so the conclusion, multiversal. Nice. I mean, not multiversal. Whatever, hyperversal, whatever you want to call it. All right. Next question. Let's go ahead and move to the next feat. All right, who's the third baboon? Let's go ahead and find out. Wait, go back to page 24 and 27. All right, hold on. I don't even know where that page is. 24:37. Let's see. No, that's chapter 6. Chapter here. 24:37. The Sangre. 24:37. You talking about this page? You mean you planned this for this, you morons? Hold on. Hey now. Alright, so what are we playing on this? It didn't show. I can't stand you. Delete. Oh, I'm not logged in, bruh. Yeah, nice job, Retro. Hey, Tariq, I want you to go and shut up. Anyway. All right, so anyway, other than that and other people making comments that it doesn't look like Mystic is hugging her because the way his hand is placed, we're not going to talk about that. We don't talk about Bruno! So we're going to go over to the next statement after this. All right, not going to lie, Steph's out of Versal Scale on Saber was atrocious. I mean, I don't know about that, but I ain't touching that with a 50,000 foot yard. Bro got it. Yeah, bro. You just got vectored. All right, next person. Who is the third baboon? Yamcha Spirit. All right, Yamcha Spirit. Where's Yamcha Spirit in the chat? Yamcha, where are you? Cat loves food. Yeah. Cat loves food. Yeah. Rex Adventures. Hyperversal is a ladder step about infinities that have priorly transcended infinities. So imagine if you can have something bigger than infinity. You can't. But imagine if there was another level of infinity that was somehow bigger. And then imagine you took that infinity and got bigger and got bigger and got bigger. Hyperversal is just a category once you reach a certain threshold. It's just fan-made jargon to kind of help differentiate different levels. Most of the time, we just simplify and say, all right, he's 12D or he's multiversal. When we say multiverse plus, typically that caps at 5D. When we say low complex, that's 6D. High complex, that's 11D, or at least, 11D. If we say low hyperversal, that's the 12th dimensional area because it's bypassing M theory. And at that point, it just continues from low hyperversal, mid hyperversal, high hyperversal, hyperversal plus. And depending on whatever versus battle you follow, they can have any other stupid names they come up with. Anyway, you know what? Scale Piccolo. I got you, Yamcha. All right, so the next baboon is Piccolo. Piccolo. Okay, so to scan Piccolo, let's go ahead and look at the Dragon Ball Super manga. All All right, so to basically start off with the baseline power scaling of Piccolo, I'm going to start with a couple of notions that people really don't understand. The first things first is we really kind of got to understand where Piccolo really scales and what he can actually do and what has he done. So in the Tournament of Power, he's done a lot of things, but he's kind of gotten slapped. So let's kind of look at what he's done in the manga so far to really kind of understand this. First off, he's not in the seats yet. He's not a bench warmer. So oh no, he is a bench warmer. All right, so Piccolo got knocked out. Who knocked him out? So it really comes down to, like, did Piccolo actually have a justifying knockout, or was, like, some baboon knocked him out? So yeah, we got 5 minutes. All right, cool. 5 minutes for that. All right, perfect. So literally, I know exactly when we're going to start. So to really get started, like, Piccolo, when Piccolo got, like, knocked out, most of the time, you really have to, like, look at, like, how he did get knocked out. And we got to kind of see, like, who started it off. So let me just first find that out. Let's see here. Piccolo. No, Piccolo's already been knocked out, like, much earlier. So who knocked him out? That's the question here that we got to ask ourselves. Dispo knocking. Yeah, so a lot of this is, like, a lot of characters are very strong in the manga. There's a lot of one-shots and stuff like that. I gotta just kind of find where it stands. And that's Frieza. Piku. Subarashi. Anyway. Narioto. Piccolo-san. Son Goku. Anyway, yeah, where the heck is the scan? When did Piccolo get knocked out? Yeah. Where is Piccolo? Piccolo. Tournament of Power, get him dirty! Okay. Same here, man calls a different time zone. Yeah, so, like, all right, do. All right, so do we see Piccolo? Piccolo does here, ding. All right, so 18 gets knocked off by a creature, and then after that, Ribrianne gets knocked off by a creature. Piccolo gets knocked off by a creature, blasts him and behind him. Bam, it hit him, and Piccolo gets hit. And then obviously, yeah, so Piccolo didn't even get to display power. He kind of just got pushed. All right, so that sucks. That was a complete waste of my time. But anyway, let's kind of continue on. So let's look at the moral arc. Where has Piccolo gone in the moral arc? So we're going to look at a couple things. First things first, we got to look at a couple things that we need to understand for Piccolo. First things first is Piccolo is obviously not fodder. He is very strong, and he's able to fight characters around the strength of Gohan, who fought Kefla. You want evidence of that? Shut up. I will answer that in just a moment. But first, let me go ahead and show you evidence as to why Piccolo is a Chad. To answer Yamcha's question, Piccolo is a Chad immediately because Piccolo was able to go ahead and fight next to Gohan and being able to push back a creature who was obviously stronger than even Gohan was, implying that this character, Sagambo, or whatever his name was, is stronger than Kefla. That right there is important. Now, how strong is Kefura? Well, let's go ahead and get you a taste of how strong Kefla is. You guys wondering how strong Kefla is? Here's the answer. Let's go back to the other prior chapters. I'm going to go ahead and answer that question for you right now. To understand how strong Kefla is, first off, Vegeta. First off, we need to understand. Number one, Kale is stronger. All right, listen up. Kale is stronger than Kaba. Kaba was equal to base Vegeta. Base Vegeta, by manga standards, is implied to have gotten stronger than his Buu Saga max power-up, including even Goku Super Saiyan 3. Now, that alone is a very, very big jump in power. But is that alone enough to indicate how much stronger they've gotten? Well, let's go ahead and look at it. The fact is, she's mastered Super Saiyan. She has a gentle expression on her face to a degree, as Kaba did too. That implies she has mastered Super Saiyan. Mastering Super Saiyan is when you're able to utilize the max power. According to the anime, which is canonical to the manga because it's Kai, it was stated by Cell that Goku had actually, I believe it said he would have to be 10 times as strong as the prior warriors in order to stand a chance. That's what he said about Gohan. His son would have to be 10 times the warrior he was. And guess what? That kind of gives the implication of how much stronger Mastered Super Saiyan really is. There's other data books that implies it has the same strength as grade 3. So all I'm going to say is it has the strength of grade 3, bare minimum, and that's what we're going to go with. So at least she's able to increase that manifold. So by that proxy, Kef, on manga standards, she should obviously be, Caulifla should be in the high multi-cluster galaxy level tiers to even the lower universal tiers. In fact, I would even go as far as to say, for manga, I would say at least Universe Plus. Obviously, being as strong as she is as a Super Saiyan, that is nothing. Then you have characters such as Kale. The fact is, Kale is very strong, even with Berserk. Now, the thing is, she was in Berserk form. She wasn't at full power. Obviously, she lost most of her energy and she kept getting stronger. Berserk was supposed to be literally similar to that of what Broly did, and she's actually implied to be so much stronger. God dang it, we already ran out of our 5 minutes, but I'm going to continue anyway. Long story short, she basically was super powerful. She was able to combine and use fusion. Ha! No, I'm just kidding. They use Patara. According to Vados, Patara is the sum of the parts multiplied tens of times over. So it's literally the best of their max power added to each other, then multiplied tens of times over, or several tens of times according to Herms. So about 10,000 times base. So it's like, oh, we're going to take Super Saiyan Caulifla plus Super Saiyan Kale, or Berserk Kale, and then we're going to add those together just to add in. And then we're going to multiply that tens of thousands. And that's going to be base Caulifla, based on Vados' statement. I'm still going to take that Vados' statement still carries weight. Obviously speaking, she was losing power and such because she left herself open and her body was damaging itself similar to Broly. Obviously speaking, we go into the next portion. They do fuse. She's knocked out, but she's not knocked out completely. She's just knocked and stunned because she didn't fall out of Super Saiyan. She just weakened. So when they fuse immediately into a Super Saiyan. It's just like great success. And he's like, Patara isn't against rules. And then she says, well, it seems to be quite clear. And they talk about, great, this is amazing, so much power. This is fusion, right? Kale plus Khalifa makes me Kefla. Now, you might need to be wondering this. How much stronger would she have been? All right, so we just talked about how much strong Caulifla was. But the thing is, even Vado says, it seems the happy accident led to the ultimate warrior. With Kale's sheer power and Caulifla's sense for battle in one body, they can combine their respective strengths. In fact, Kefla may be unmatched on this battlefield. All right, so when it comes to being unmatched, that is the implication that she is literally one of the strongest out there. And this is from Vados. So Vados is saying may be unmatched. So basically, if they use their potential, which clearly they were not doing, but overall, she does talk about it. Apologies, Jiren. And it says, your friends are in a pinch. Go and help them. We keep fighting unnecessary and blah, blah, blah. She goes ahead to attack him. Gohan is able to stop. And you say, you settle things with Jiren. She's like, who are you? Saying like you. Though the point is, Gohan, who Piccolo can fight against, like a fake version of Gohan. And yeah. So this Gohan fought Kefla. So to give you guys an idea, this is someone who's now, based on what we know about Kefla is now at a level where she has to be in the blue. And even Goku was like, I didn't even know she could fight this good. So obviously, based on the fact on how strong Kale was, and much more, Gohan can literally take him and equalize. The whole battle sequence is implying that Gohan is blue tier, mastered, perfected blue. How strong is perfected blue in the manga? At least strong enough to deal with someone who could destroy a parallel world. Bottom line, keeping it long story short, or too long didn't read, or too long don't want to listen, Kefla is at least multiverse plus. Nah, I'm just joking with you, bro. She's clearly at least complex multiversal. So Kefla is complex multiversal. Here's why I brought up Piccolo in the later chapters. Why? Because when Piccolo fought Sagambo, or whatever the freak his stupid monkey name is, what people were failing to realize is that it was a crazy battle, but it wasn't even like what people think. So let's go ahead and analyze the battle. When Piccolo fights him, here's what's actually happening. Piccolo is fighting someone. So here's what happened. Piccolo has to fight this creature. The creature takes his own power. And then Piccolo is able to deal with him. Gohan does reflect it back. And then he does that. And then obviously. It's like, even with infinite stamina, its Glade can't cover immediately, etc. Goes to recover and goes to fight him. Takes on Gohan's power and let's move. Goes ahead to fight Gohan. And Piccolo can dodge attacks coming from a Gohan level fighter. And this is a Gohan that's so strong, and if you guys don't believe it, how much stronger did Gohan get here? Well, let's go ahead and examine that. How much stronger did Gohan get? Well, let's examine. He got so much stronger that they literally say, hold on, where's Goku's statement? He gets so much stronger that Goku literally says, I was hoping, I guess that won't be helping. You've grown far stronger, Goku. And he's like, yeah, I'm not the same guy as we met before. So much stronger that he literally tells Gohan and them, sorry, you had just started fighting again. I'm the one who should be sorry. We weren't enough to protect the Earth on our own. What do you mean? I barely recognize you two. Must have been training hard. So Goku doesn't even recognize Gohan or Piccolo in this context. No point in training when we can't even defend Earth. So Piccolo, bare minimum here, based on Goku's statement, implied Piccolo should be stronger than the Gohan in the Tournament of Power who fought Kefla. So Piccolo here is at least complex multiversal in the manga. And the anime, if this was anime, he'd be. I'll tell you in a minute. If this was now, to get you the long story short, that's the last we really see Piccolo's strength. And the movie, we know that Orange Piccolo is about the same strength as Goku and Vegeta, Ultra Instinct based. So that right there, I'm going to say Orange Piccolo, in conclusion, is at least... I want to say at least between... high complex to low hyperversal. So he's going to be high complex multiversal or low hyperversal, in my humble opinion. And if we're dealing with the manga, then the manga, I'm going to say between the areas of mid-complex multiversal, based on the manga statements. So, Piccolo is at least able, and as much as people hate to say it, Piccolo is folding the anti-spiral. Stay mad. Cope. Everyone in the chat type cope. Piccolo solos anti-spiral. I'm sorry, Piccolo beats anti-spiral. Sorry, I gotta tell you. Cope. Orange Piccolo. Of course. Orange Piccolo is kind of ridiculous. So, Orange Piccolo, and remember all those people who Green Lantern would beat Piccolo. Piccolo's not that strong. And then you find out it's like, not Green Lantern, Martian Manhunter. Martian Manhunter can slow a Piccolo. He's like Superman power. Like, Piccolo will beat the whole Justice League with his butt cheeks and his antennas tied to his earlobes. I'm not even joking, bro. The fact is that he's this much stronger is kind of hilarious. It's like ridiculous. Anyway. All right. So, we finished that one. Now that we finished that scaling, let's move on to the next. Let's get ready for the next question. You can at least do like, all right. So who's the fourth baboon? Let's find out today. Oblivion MX. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Oblivion MX versus the fourth baboon. All right, Oblivion MX, where are you? Where are you in the stream? Where are you? Hurry up. Come in. No, I'm just kidding. Start yelling at you. Oh, we got 2 more subscribers. Oh my gosh, we got 1,693. Let's go. Get over here. Guys, like, please. Guys, don't forget to like the video and subscribe. It helps me out quite a bit. Please. The clap of Piccolo's butt cheeks. So, Colonel, this is Snake. I'm trying to sneak around, but I'm dummy thick.
And the clamp on my butt cheeks keeps alerting the guards. Tasty.
Here, you want to know about Capsule Corp Goku. All right, so what do you want to know about him, huh? Huh? What do you want to know?
He wants to know about Capsule Goku. Let's answer that question for him, but keep it simple.
All right, so first off, we're gonna first off, let's talk a little bit about Capsule Goku. Hey, Peter.
Tell him about Capsule Goku.
Are you sure? I don't know if he really wants to know about that. Yeah, I'm really not a big fan of Capsule Goku myself. Oh, come on, Cleveland. Everyone loves Capsule Goku. I mean, what's that old man? He likes Capsule Goku. I only like Kid Goku. 'Cause when Kid Goku comes around, that's when I like Kid Goku. I miss the old comic books when they used to draw Kid Goku without any underpants. I don't like the underpants they put on Kid Goku.
Anyway, let's kind of go ahead and get into the nitty gritty of the scans. So to begin with, let's really start understanding. How strong is Capsule Goku? Starting in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's take off. Capsule Goku is one of those characters who's absolutely a monster. Not only did he beat Xeno Goku in a fight, he actually is so strong he was able to fight on characters who were literally a threat to the entire, multiverse.
No! I'm not a robot! Get the taxi! That's not even a taxi! That's not a taxi. Get out of here. That's not...
Oh, traffic light. Yeah, ding, ding, ding. Let's go! Anyway, so the bottom line is,
No! Get out of here!
Anyway, so the main point is, as I was trying to say before I could look up Goku, VPN, is that Capsule Goku is a monster. Capsule Goku is so strong he is able to beat Xeno Goku. But that's not the only thing. Capsule Goku also fought side by side with Beat. So, Fusion, God, Broly, Dragon Ball, Heroes. So to give you guys an understanding of a little bit about what God Broly could do, is God Broly was such a threat that he literally broke out of the movie theater and was going to beat my behind. He was going to whoop my ass. Like literally, he walked out and he was literally going to beat me, Atari. He was going to beat Atari up. So Broly is so strong, he doesn't really stay in the fiction. Even this random Japanese girl who probably would lose a fight to, I don't know, who knows who she'd lose a fight to, was literally strong enough that she can combine her Kamehameha with Goku and one-shot Broly in the trailer. So the fact that a single human is much, much infinitely stronger than just this God Fusion Broly, I suppose, is kind of hilarious.
Well, wasn't Broly gonna, solo humanity?
Yeah, he was, and then he realized that he's just a fictional character and that we can just body him with a Kamehameha for some reason. Granted, it took a combined Kamehameha, so whatever, and Goku was in base form. Don't ask. It's just the trailer.
But the trailer's not canon!
Well, I mean, it still gives an idea of what Goku did do against Broly, so shut up. The whole point is that based on what we know about God Fusion Broly and Capsule Goku being stronger than him as a Super Saiyan Blue, already tells us a little bit about the idea of Dragon Ball Heroes transcending fiction. Now remember, Dragon Ball Heroes is literally just a comic book. No matter what Death Battles tells you, it is just a comic book / video game. It's literally a video game. The programmers and developers can add whatever they want to the game. So in the aspect of where the Beats world sit, I'd personally say his world sits at the say his world sits around the guards of the infinite hyperversal ranges. Because I believe that he definitely sits in a place where cardinal numbers would not really necessarily describe the dimensionality. But I wouldn't put it as outerversal according to the silly versus Battle Wiki jargon that has been switched around more times than I switch my socks on a Thanksgiving vacation! But other than that, I would just say that is probably the most accurate scaling. Given the universal tree, I don't think Eos and many of the others really were doing too much to threaten Dragon Ball's cosmology. I do know Tokitoki is the gardener of all dimensions in between, and if the application of what they're telling us is true, nothing really surpasses really that much. Given that Dragon Ball Fighters is also canon to Dragon Ball Heroes, we can also come to the presupposition that the E world, or the void that they had that was literally dimensionless to a degree, and could contain fighters and was literally coming from the real world of Dragon Ball Fighters. If you want to go on the higher end route, you can argue that that is literally part of the universe structure of the Dragon Ball Heroes, which it's clearly not. But if you do argue it is, and say that the world is, of course, infinite within infinity, then you'd have something along the lines of low multi-infinite hyperversal levels, basically destroying two separate infinite hyperverses, which is something strong enough to even combat those of the almighty forces of even DC and Marvel. So in Capsule Goku's jurisdiction, where I would say he honestly sits, and if I'm going to be like more so conservative and really honest and straightforward, the confines of the story and the way they're telling us with Dragon Ball Heroes, I would say that Capsule Goku clearly and humbly, and I say humbly, in this context, sits in a very nice category I'd like to place him in. Capsule Goku, in my honest opinion, just in his base form alone, in conjunction with his Ultra Instinct and Super Saiyan God are higher levels of reality in the actual series in the game, according to the actual statements. With the aspect of Super Saiyan God mixed with the fact that Ultra Instinct is treated as also a new level that's untouched, even an unknown power, I would give the conclusive argument that it's at least, a higher dimensionality. And I would say, bottom line, I'd rank him about... here. He'd be Infinite Hyperversal Plus. And I don't think, or in case nobody knows what the crap that means. In other words, I would say just about infinite. In other words, infinite dimensional. So that's actually where I would place him. I mean, literally, there's too many arguments. So again, to examine the arguments, the first argument is, and I know there's going to be people like,
oh, no, it's not true. It's not true. No, it's not possible. That's not true. That's just a fictional representation.
First of all, Beats World is literally a freaking video game. There's like so many scans that I can ad nauseum on the stream right now. I could send so many goddamn scans, it'll make your freaking head spin. So Beats World literally is indeed 1,000,000% a fictional world. It's not. Beats World is literally the real world. Dragon Ball Super is literally fiction. That's period. There's nothing to argue. There's no argument. There's no debunk. It is what it is. It's literally a fictional world. Beats World is a representation on our world, Japan, as a representation of the real life Japan, propagated through a fictional storytelling that treats Dragon Ball Heroes as just a video game. Dragon Ball Heroes is a video game, but it's real. The programmers can edit and add things to the game, but the game is still sentient at the same time. So overall, Beats World sits, so if the developers wanted to add infinite dimensions, Beats World sits a stage beyond that. Now, obviously, it's not Outerversal. Beats World is not Outerversal because A, it still is a location. Outerversality is not a location. It's a statement of existence. Honestly, Outerversal is a concept by nature. So obviously, A, it's still a location. B, Beats World still has time, so it just has a new level of temporality. I would personally say if you're going to consider the Dragon Ball cosmology for Heroes to be infinite, which I don't blame you because even One Piece is canon to it and other statements thereof, that's fine. Even the God Fusion Broly, God Fusion Goku is canon to Heroes. And then you got the real world from God Fusion Broly, the real world from Dragon Ball Fighters, and you got the real world from Dragon Ball Heroes. So I mean, how much real can you get? So overall, I would say it's conclusive to say that he's infinite hyperversal plus infinite dimensional, has to be in base form. How strong is his Ultra Instinct? I would say it's around the same level because adding infinity to an infinity doesn't really make you infinity and beyond. It just means, all right, cool. Well, whatever. It's a power up in that regard, but the dimension, he's just higher into the infinite hyperversal dimensional tier, which doesn't really upgrade him to anything at all. Now, you might be wondering, all right, well, if Dragon Ball Heroes World is infinite dimensional, what would that make Beats World then if we went with the higher end interpretation? Under the higher end confines of the interpretation, if Beats World is also under that jurisdiction, the only thing I would say is Beats World is just a higher temporal spatial concept that goes beyond the threshold of infinite infinities, which I would just say, all right, Beats World is like Aleph Null. Pretty much. If you want to say it's beyond that because it's beyond the programming of the game and go higher, I'd say, all right, best I'll give you is the best. The best I will freaking give you, all right? The best I will give all of you guys for most of this is I will at least, let's see here, at the bare minimum, I will give you this. I will at least, here, I'll do this. There you go. That is the highest I will give Xenogoku. I will give him Aleph 1. Aleph 1. In other words, I will place him at Aleph Versal. But in other words, he would be infinitely higher than an infinite hyper versal level character, but I wouldn't put him at outer versal. That would be the highest I'm willing to put him at. Personally, I'm not going to really go any higher or argue any higher. That's where I'm going to place him at, period. I'm not going any higher than that. Outside of that, conservative scaling, if we're going to keep this conservative and just natural and not throw these numbers in, then I'm going to at least say infinite dimensional. I think that is a good stretch point because the narrative supports it, the lore supports it, the feats support it. I don't see any reason why it would be otherwise. I mean, you literally have it's literally composite Goku. There's nothing you can do to really argue or debunk that. I know there's going to be other YouTubers with thousands of subscribers, hundreds of thousands, who are trying to say, that's not true, Tari's just wanking because blah, 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 blah. Like, no, like, what? That just because you claim someone's doing something doesn't mean that actually is just exactly what they're saying. There's got to be a substantiated argument. And there's nothing to really gain from me doing this. I mean, what am I going to get? A donation of $5 million? Like, oh, he's doing that because he's paying. Like, no, I don't get paid for this. I'm just saying it because that's honest, true passion we have with Powerscalers. So anyway, guys, I know that took a little bit longer than I wanted it to take, but that's the honest truth. So there you go. There's your answer. Capsule Goku is really, really freaking powerful. Period. And I can say that, with true, utter confidence. That's where I'm going to place him at. And yes, even if we did assert Cosmic Armor Superman was also infinite hyperversal, it still wouldn't be enough for a higher end interpretation of this Goku, who is clearly going to even go beyond that because he would be also under the confines of Aleph 1. Which means he has already bypassed all rational, real, whole, integer, cardinal-based numbers that you would generally get on a normal basis of the lowest level of infinity for Aleph Null. So I would place him at Aleph 1. People are going to be mad. Stay mad. I don't care. It's not my business. I don't care. I don't. Anyway. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So, there you go. Capsule Corp Goku is one of the characters I can consistently say is probably among one of the strongest in general fiction. I don't think Saber is getting, and I will say this, he will completely baptize the entire Fate verse. Akutosai, Fate will all get baptized or claptized by Capsule Goku because he'll literally lower Saber's stats if he needs to. He literally lower her stats with the cards if you want to go into that category. Also, if we were to go from feats to feats, he has better feats because he's literally transcended his fiction. He's transcended his fiction in Fighters. He's transcended his fiction in the Universal Studios. If you actually visit Universal Studios yourself, you can literally witness the feat yourself. The whole theater shakes when him and Broly are fighting. Because what is the narrative? The narrative in the lore is that their fight is so big that it's affecting the outside sources of the comic. I mean, of the fiction. So in other words, just like how Cosmic Armor Superman. So look, when Cosmic Armor Superman reaches his hand, let me show you guys. If you read the original comic, the original skins, this is actually supposed to have 3D glasses. He's reaching outside of the comic. That's essentially the idea. At the highest level of interpretation, of course. He's really technically reaching the limbo. But he's reaching outside of the comic in the highest interpretation of Grant Morrison. So that's the higher end of Cosmic Armor. But Goku has done this consistently. He's done it in 3 sources. Fighters, Heroes, and the Universal Studios movie. And even Jump Force, if you want to. So that's 4 sources. How many times has he got to transcend outside his comic book for people to get the idea? That's the highest feat the Japanese media is pushing for this character. Sorry. Like, Goku literally is doing more than even Ijimu has done in this context. Like, Ijimu knows she's a manga character, but Goku literally is like, I don't care about the video game. I'm leaving the video game itself. Like, literally. The programmers are like, what the freak? He left the game. Oh, Demigral left the game. He's going to kill us all. Like, exactly. That's the whole idea. So I'm not going to sit here back and forth, but with the whole...
It's time reaction, man. Stay out of the chain reaction, man. Chain reaction. I don't give a damn what you say. He's not out of person. He's all rank. It's not ranked as Xenogoku is doing a lot of chain reaction. Punk ass. That's right. That's why I hate Dragon Ball rankings. No, it's never been.
And that's the versus battle wiki. That's exactly how they be talking, bro. And this is not even out of bias, because is there a version of Superman who can beat Xenogoku? Probably. I mean, I think if you interpret Cosmic Armor at the highest level, he can actually have a nice battle with Xenogoku or Capsule Goku. But I think Capsule Goku will win. You want to know why I know Cosmic Armor isn't truly universal or any of that? Because he can literally be injured. Oh, but just because but Lucifer Morningstar was injured, yeah, well, nerfed. So again, now obviously injury, if the concept of death is beyond you, the concept of injury, it's kind of just like, okay, whatever. The concept of being hurt, it just becomes very finicky, and that's just the inconsistency with comics. The whole idea is like that he had stamina, he ran out of breath, he was having struggles, so Xenogoku can damage him. So that means that he's not impervious to not being killed or erased from a Hakai. But limbo space is beyond memory. Yeah. And like Hakai erases you beyond that. and Capsule Goku has it. He literally has it. He literally has Hakai. So anyway, not that he was just going to Hakai Cosmic Armor, but I'm saying that in the actual battle, Xenogoku's going to win. We got Superman, but Superman has like really good knowledge and adaptation. No. But anyway, this isn't about... Who cares? Who cares about Cosmic Armor right now? I'm not talking about him right now. He's an awesome character, but we're not talking about him right now. Anyway, bottom line, that's the answer to the question. Oblivion MX, thank you. Hope that answers your question, my friend. Dang, man, that was way more than 5 minutes. But hey, I got to get a little passion into that, man. I got to tell people straight up how it is. Xenogoku, just let the word be known, man. Could you explain lower and higher dimensions, for example, 5D versus 5D plus? So, all right, I'll keep it simple. Uncertified hater. Let's explain that in a very simple way. Let me ask you this. You destroyed the observable universe. What's the observable universe have? Well, the observable universe is 3-dimensional, right? All right, cool. It holds 92 billion miles in diameter, and you destroy every matter within it. The matter itself is 3D. The space itself is 3D. You destroyed it. Cool. You're 3-dimensional, but you're, of course, on a finite level within the 3-dimensional confines. Now, you destroy an infinite 3D space. We call this high universal. You are now going to be ranked under the category we call high universal. This level is infinitely, this is literally 3D plus, aka infinite.
You see, when we say a character is 5D, a finite 5D character can destroy an infinite subset of 4D worlds. Cool. But that doesn't mean he could destroy more than one infinite subsets of 4D worlds. So, for example, if there's an infinite number of 4D worlds all contained within a place, 5D being can destroy that. Now, let's say there's two separate 5D groups. Within the 5D world, he could destroy a finite amount. An infinite 5D being could destroy the whole fifth dimension itself, including the infinite 4D worlds it contains. So essentially, it's just jumping up the bar. It's jumping up the bar. Whenever you get to a new dimensional category, pretty much most stats reset. So if a character is infinite multiversal, cool. All right, now he meets another character, infinite multiversal. Let's say this. Let's say Saber and Goku. Saber and Goku are both fighting each other. All right.
Let's give this example. Saber versus Goku. All right, so let's say these two are fighting, right? So we got Saber and we got Goku. All right, they're fighting. So let's say the Avalon is 6D, Goku is 6D. All right, so Saber has the defense, the six-dimensional defense with the Avalon. Cool. 6D holds an infinite number of 5D worlds that each hold infinite 4D worlds, etc. You get the picture. Goku is also 6D. They're both equal right now in this battle. What's going to happen when Goku goes Super Saiyan 2? Then he's going to be in a higher level of 6D. You get what I'm saying? So basically, if her AP is she can only destroy one 5D, if her AP is she can only destroy one six-dimensional world, but Goku can destroy a multitude of six-dimensional worlds, like Goku by Super Saiyan 2, Goku can destroy two six-dimensional worlds. Super Saiyan 3, 4 six-dimensional worlds. Super Saiyan God, 20,000. Bare minimum, hundreds of thousands. Goes Super Saiyan Blue. So yeah, Goku may be increasing his power finite and may not hit, he's not going to hit 7D at this rate. But finitely, he's still going to be many times stronger than Saber in this context. So that's exactly how lower 5D and upper 5D or lower dimension and upper dimensional tiers work. Because you could be a lower tier on the same dimension. That's why I said Goku would beat the anti-spiral. The anti-spiral could destroy the 10th and 11th dimension, but he has to go all out. Goku and Jiren has been dealing with 10-dimensional structures. Jiren, bro. The time ring in the Dragon Ball cosmology I've scanned is at least 10 to 11th dimension at some mid-high or moderate scaling. Staying true to what we know. Jiren glared, and that's Zamasu. Vegeta is stronger than Zamasu by the time he hits Blue Evolution. Does a final flash, Jiren glares it away. He glares it away. So who's going to win? The anti-spiral, who's 11D in the same context as Zamasu. In fact, Zamasu wasn't just 11D. He was going to take over a separate 11th dimensional world, a second time ring, because he was in Trunks's and the present at the same time. So Zamasu is already going to foderize the anti-spiral. You get it? That's the whole picture. That is how you explain that. Make sense? All right. I don't know where it said Super Saiyan God is 60 million multiplier on base, but if it is, that's cool. Thanks. I asked because it brought the fact that the Dragon Ball Macrocosm was 6D because it holds infinite 5D afterlife, and Chuck said that the Macrocosm could simply be 5D plus. Chuck is right, but Chuck does not. Chuck would be right under most circumstances, but he's not factoring in the dead zone or the dead zone. Dead zone's a hyperspace that has its own temporality. So if the hyperspace is 4D, temporality make the hyperspace 5D. The afterlife transcends dimensions not visible to the regular world. When we talk about transcendency, we're not just talking about, all right, you transcend 5D normally. No, we're talking about, you've literally reached beyond the 5D threshold. Because you have to think about the space. If the hyperspace exists, then you got to look at the space between universes, the space between the demon world, the space between the time room, the space between the pendulum room, the space between the room of spirit and time, and the space between the living world, then the space between the dead zone, then the fact that the other world has a space between that, and it transcends all of that I just mentioned. And the fact that Koyama even says, I believe the gods of Dragon Ball are 5 to 6 dimensional or would live in the 5 to 6D worlds. I mean, it's clear cut and dry. If Koyama's confirming it too, Daizenshou's confirming it too, the other aspects and elements that we have of the series is confirming it, then yeah, the macrocosm has to be 6D, bare minimum. Technically 7D if you really include the super dimensions from the Super Broly movie and the Seguro space and other contexts that we obtain, since it is since the actual context does say it is a super or an ultra dimension. Because it literally describes Chojigen. And the term Chojigen is referring to super or ultra or hyper dimension. Okay? Exactly, Ariel Ramirez. I was just giving an example. It's okay, Vegeta Scales. Most people don't acknowledge the neutral zone is in our world. The whole idea of the Xeno world and neutral zone is the neutral zone is literally a space between the universes where they can reside. The Xeno world is literally beyond that because it's treated as the afterlife to the multiverse. Then the time ring is beyond that. But even if you ignore that, Dragon Ball, even ignoring all of this, Dragon Ball can't be any low. It cannot, NOT cannot be lower than 6D. If I went bare bones basic, macrocosm's 4D. All right, what's the space between universes? Has to be 5D. Has to be. So if the space between the macrocosms is 5D, not 4D plus, 5D, can't go lower than that. Because then you got to go to the next point, which is the timeline. What about the timeline? Well, the timeline, look at the timeline now. How big is the timeline? Infinitely greater. So now that's 6D. So by default, the lowest, even though it's completely neutering Dragon Ball and ignoring so much of the cosmology, the context of the story, the super dimensional Gogeta, the extra dimensional worlds they've traveled beyond, the other statements in series that gives us context and details clearly are indicating it can't be lower than 6th dimension. It can't. Narratively, it doesn't work that way either. But anyway. Atari, how do you perceive the dimensionality between fictional characters within a comic book and your PC? Well, Retro, it all comes down to the term that Stride like to use, and that's the term fictional representation. I can make a virus, a character, a fictional character that's a virus, and I can have that virus affect your PC, but the character isn't affecting your PC. The program is affecting the PC. The character is merely an avatar represented through the actual actions happening from the program. So technically, what's destroying your PC, the virus or the fictional character? The fictional character is just a fictional representation or avatar. It's not actually doing that. That's like if I said, all right, who would win, the Chicago Bulls logo or Goku? Well, the Chicago Bulls logo, we can literally do programs. We can literally put mascots in the outfits and stuff like that and make the logo actually tangible and real. You can't do that with Goku. So in the same context is, all right, but at the end of the day, the bull you see on the Chicago Bulls is a completely fictional logo design. So the bull itself isn't real. It's what we create that allows the bull to feel real. Just like when we do with God Fusion Goku. God Fusion Goku can literally affect the movie theater because they're programming the movie and choreography by adding shakers in the movie theater. You literally feel the movie theater shake. Your seats, like an earthquake happened. You feel like you're confined in a place and an earthquake is going outside. That's why people were screaming and scared when they saw the movie, because you literally feel Goku and Broly punching and their vibrations shake the whole theater. The ground, the ceiling, and everything gets shaken. That's why they tell you have to. I don't think you can have drinks in the theater while watching it. Or if you do, they tell you to be cautious because your drinks start shaking as Goku and Broly are punching each other with all their might. So that's a fictional representation of them affecting the real world. Goku's not actually hurting me, but the way the guys designed it is that they're doing it that way. So the whole key word, fictional representation. Look at that and look at the narrative. What's the narrative of what the character's doing? That's why narrative is so important. No matter how much people preach about feats, if you don't got narrative, there's no support. It has no backbone to stand on. I don't care what the feats is. Narrative can take it away. I mean, Batman stabbed the Reverse Flash before. Batman kicked the Spectre before. But we know narratively, Batman ain't that goddamn strong. We know goddamn well he's not. He dodged an Omega Beam from Darkseid. Get out of here with that, bro. Anyway. Why can an out-of-versal character... Well, Michael Braxton, to answer your question, an out-of-versal character shouldn't be able to get hurt under most circumstances, because when you're out-of-versal, you're beyond measurement. A measurement is a spatial, or a dimension is something that can be measured. If it's spatial, you can't be anything correlated to any numbers to it. So, think about it. Somebody who's not confined by time at all or space at all, not even any cardinal number, any infinite infinities, any ordinal infinities by aleph null, omega, omega plus aleph, aleph to the power of aleph to the power of aleph to the power plus omega to the power of omega, even to epsilon null, which contains all of that beyond infinity, to the power of epsilon to the power of epsilon. All combinations that could possibly be thought of, out-of-versal is completely beyond that. So you're telling me a being who's beyond all of what I just mentioned is going to be hurt physically? You can't physically be hurt because you're not physical. Make sense? The only thing is because concept of being hurt is the idea of taking damage. So if we look at it, hurt, to bruise, to give pain by contusion, pressure, or any violence to the body. We hurt by severe blow. To wound, to injure, to impair, to sound state of the body, to harm, to damage, to injure by diminution, to impair, to injure by reducing in quality, to impair. You don't reduce an out-of-versal being because there's nothing to reduce. Reduce has to do with a number. Reduce is a reduction of such. Unless you can move beyond a general Platonic concept that can mess with the confines of what is not tangible, you cannot hurt an out-of-versal being, or you shouldn't be able to. That's why the Beyonder can't even be hurt. Narratively, you can't actually hurt him. If he doesn't want you to, you can't hurt him. Because, he can't die. Why would you be able to hurt him? You can't, just think about it. All right. Anyway, next up, before the next question, because we are running out of time, folks, who is the fifth and final baboon? Because the more we talk, the less baboons we have. Guys, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, by the way. And share this. Look, we're almost at 1,700 subscribers right now. Let's go. For every subscriber, I'll add an extra minute to the mark of how long I'll stay. Well, look at that. Michael Braxton.
All right, Michael Braxton, let's go. Let's give it up for Michael Braxton. Ah!
Okay, anyway, Michael Braxton.
Choose your character. Scarlet King.
Scarlet King. I heard people scaling the balance to even a couple layers of independence. Cool. All right, let's go into that. All right, Scarlet King. SCP. Finish him. Fatality. All right, so the first thing is, let's look at the Scarlet King. All right, let's look up the SCP. First off, how am I even going to find the SCP for this? All right, let's go ahead and look at the wiki. And if the wiki's wrong, somebody let me know. All right, so let's see. The evildoer of the Scarlet King. Yeah. Enough with the ads! Okay, anyway. You know the Scarlet King, with the Scarlet King. He's the creation of trolling anomalies or so many different levels all over the world. He is the memory of the world that is lost, pre-modern, made manifest. All right, let's start the timer in 3, 2, 1, go! All right, so let's see here.
The new humanism, smiling coldness that makes our day, the day's existence, forged from a perfect balance of irreconceivable anomalies and our breaking minds. He is an entity created by this overwhelming, unavoidable tension of the howl of the old world when faced with a cold, gray, purposeless new. He is the revenge of our fallen past. He is the ideal of the ancient in a world which discards and fetishes it. Okay. Scarlet King is the most overarching antagonist of the SPC Foundation. All right, let's find out about the SCP Foundation. Where can I read the SPC Foundation? Where can I read it? 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 God dang it! Anyway. All right, so let's talk about it. Well, I'm going to go ahead and answer this based on common sense. Here's the question. Yes or no? He vowed to destroy the tree of the creator and creation. Okay, so Satan said he would do that. That don't mean he can. Anyway, let's see here. So here's the question. Can Scarlet King lose? Oh, no problem, FZ reset. Can Scarlet King lose? Because if Scarlet King can lose,
he's not boundless.
And I could kind of tell basically based on the information here,
he's not boundless.
If he's not the strongest in the series,
he's not boundless.
If he's not an extension of the creator and the creator itself at the same time,
he's not boundless.
Under the jurisdiction of how the series recreates him, powerful enough to threaten all of creation and the Tree of Knowledge itself, making himself a multiversal threat, if not worse.
He is not boundless.
Destroying all of creation is not boundless. It takes more than that. Unless you destroy the Platonic concept of what creation and destruction is, then yes, then we can talk. Other than that,
he's not boundless.
So the last thing in conclusion is the Scarlet King, even based on a general skimming, I'm pretty content, even if I had the original comic or such.
He's not boundless.
Crimson Khan and anything, even if it was Lucifer itself from the real life lore,
he's not boundless.
So overall, what is the conclusion, chat? Scarlet King. Where can I scale Scarlet King? I don't know. But based upon the information I'm looking at in the SCP, I mean, given that they're stronger than any of the other SCP characters, I will at least say this. I will at least acknowledge the category of I will at least say infinite dimensional, or based on this information, or Aleph 1, or Aleph 10, or 1,000, or 100, because the way the SCP goes, it can keep going. So, depending on what Aleph this thing is, how about we just make this simple and say Aleph to infinity. If we were to go with the highest, dumbest, highest high end of what SCP has been known to, which I don't even believe it is this much. Because I don't think SCP has actually reached this. I think people just SCP is kind of a niche series that not many people read. Like, oh, look. All right, I'm going to just say it because nobody else is going to say. SCP is overrated. And what I mean by overrated, I mean it's a series that's not very consistent at all. It's kind of like DC because everyone can kind of just throw in their own little narrative and story. I mean, it's fun because everyone can kind of compile their own little thing together. But the lack of cohesiveness and the amount of Occam's razor I would draw based upon most of the premises that it concludes and the amount of Hickson's razors I can throw at it because there's so many claims that nobody really gives the scale or the original context to it really falls apart most of the time, especially when you look at the actual concepts of what the series is trying to convey. Overall, SCP is very strong. I know that for sure, but most of what they're doing is not something I would even consider to be a consistency that it actually holds forth to. Honestly speaking, Capsule Corp Goku victimizes 99% of it, and people can get mad that I just said that because I just did. But I'm going off of that because Capsule Goku actually has feasible feats that are easy to get the context on, and there's not a plethora of a bunch of lore I gotta like kind of slobber myself into in order to find out. Because it's not only a big and long running series, but there's also been retcons I've heard as well, and there's a lot of points that it could fall apart. So with that said, yeah, I'm just going to keep it honest with you, man. Other than just a highball, and this is not even a real highball scale. This is just me just throwing a number out there. Aleph to the infinity. It's not even an Aleph plus Omega or Aleph infinity plus Omega, where we can start getting into ordinals added on top of the infinitesimal infrastructure of how new numbers can be articulated that can't even be comprehended. Whatever. The point still stands. I don't think they're even reaching Aleph 1 or at least Aleph 2 or 1. There may be I don't deny there's a boundless character. I mean, Toribot is boundless. So I don't deny that there isn't a boundless character within the series, but it's just a matter of consistently, I don't see it. And yeah, Toribot would victimize this character anyway. Anyway, you want Toffel's proposal for him, the best document on the king, and my personal favorite. To be honest with you, Harvado, I'll be honest, I'm not 100% interested immediately. There's not much. I mean, if it's not animated, if it's not something that can hook me, I don't know what to really look for. Even if it was Beyond Dimensions, what does that mean? What does that mean by being Beyond Dimensions? Because even if you are Beyond Dimensions, what's the context? Because I get what you're saying, King Zando, but you know how this channel is. Give me the context. When you say Beyond Dimension, what do you mean? Give me the context. I want it all. Because if you say Beyond Dimension, that don't mean crap to me. Capsule Goku is Beyond Dimensions in the aspect that he's beyond the general infinite threshold we already established. So in that context, he's beyond the general infinities you would have for dimensions. He's now on a newer level of cardinality of dimensions that we're now discussing with set theory and higher infinities presupposed by Cantor. Other than that, what do we mean by they're beyond infinities? I mean, is Scarlet King in a location? Is where he is at, is where he or she or it is at a location? Is it an existence itself that cannot be measured? And is the measurement of where they exist? So there's so many questions I have, and a lot of answers that aren't provided by the wiki, because the wiki gives a very normie introduction. And so it's really difficult to actually get information on it. Anyway. FZ Reset. Answer that question simply. Alien X isn't out of Versal at all because Alien X can still be hurt. Period. But it's not even the fact that Alien X can be hurt. It's just the fact that Alien X still exists within a location. So, yeah. Team Florida versus Ohio. As someone who has lived in Ohio once, Florida is clapping. Ohio memes are just there, just kind of sprung out of nowhere recently to a degree from what I've seen. And it kind of holds no regards because Ohio is kind of just very simple, straightforward. I don't really know Ohio to be some crazy place where stupid stuff happens as much as people are claiming it is. It's just the birthplace of a lot of businesses, sure. And yeah, a lot of YouTubers may go there here and there, but no. Florida is, yeah. I mean, for the memes, if we're talking memes-wise, I guess I wouldn't really know. And the Dark Knight, to that discretion, Ohio's really fun. It's not boring. It's actually very fun. It's just the problem is that the people in Ohio aren't as openly friendly as New Englanders, but that's because in New England, a lot of the cities are close by and compacted. If you're going to get along with people in Ohio, you got to visit the right areas because they have a lot of friendly people, some of the most friendly people, and it's not boring at all. There's some really cool things to do to a degree. I will admit, to a degree, but still, overall, you get the picture. Yeah, I don't know.
I've never thought that someday I would be able to hear someone say that a version of Goku can throw hands with the top tiers of SCP with actual proof. Yeah, no problem, random citizen. I mean, if I'm gonna be completely, truly genuine with you, a lot of SCP, I've seen a lot of SCP posts, and I always ask, "Well, how strong are they?" It was like, "Oh, they can do this and that, and this and that." I'm like, "All right, where's the evidence?" And I'm not saying SCP doesn't have the evidence because I found the page before and read a little bit of it. Some of them have characters who literally transcend some of the authors, but then ask yourself this: are the authors really transcendable, or did the author write it so that they transcend them? And then it really comes down to, all right, but how did this character lose to someone who transcended the author? It just kind of throws into a lot of contradictory gish gallop that really doesn't conclude to a proper, coherent conclusion. It's just a bunch of stuff they're doing. Anyway, well, Scarlet King is supposed to be the malice of the story, plot itself. I don't know how to scale that, though. The plot itself, the plot is written by the author. So if he is the author itself, then yeah, you could say he's boundless. But then again, that would mean if he's boundless, he would have to be connected to another boundless being because the malice has to have an equal force due to the laws of polarity. Unless SCP specifies there is no polarity with evil and that only evil exists and evil will overcome. It's completely up to the author. So that's how you would scale that. For the most part. And long story short, no, SpongeBob absolutely gets stomped by Luffy. SpongeBob is inconsistent. He's not a consistent character who scales consistently. Consistently, SpongeBob loses to Ryu from Street Fighter. Consistently. And not even. No. Consistently, SpongeBob loses to a freaking street level fighter. Consistently. SpongeBob is not really as strong as many people think he is. Unless you're using some of the outlandish feats and we're using composite SpongeBob. Then if it's composite SpongeBob where I can use all his gag and Toon Force feats, then I can just say,
Hey, you want to go fight the 8th dimensional monkey?
yeah. Dark Schneider versus Kratos. RJ, that's a wonderful question. I'd love to answer that, but to answer the simple question, it depends on how you scale Dark Schneider. If you want to truly scale Dark Schneider to the Buddhistic true Nirvana concepts, Dark Schneider can make Kratos his victim. But if you want a high-end Kratos to the true essence of fate itself, then Kratos can victimize. If you want to highball both of them, then it's a tie. For now, perhaps. Maybe. It's actually kind of hard to differentiate that. It's kind of difficult, though. It's about a Kratos versus Dark Schneider is a battle that requires a very deep analysis, though. I will say that. So for the most part, on a very, very general notion, I am going to say bare minimum Kratos versus... I'm going to lean into Kratos being more consistent with his feats. Dark Schneider, though, definitely could put up a wonderful fight if you go with the higher ends. But on a consistent level, Kratos is definitely going to just completely bam, bam, boom, boom, bam. He's gonna ding dang his yin yang. All right. SpongeBob Bloodlusted. I mean, he's still getting fodderized. SpongeBob Bloodlusted doesn't really do much. I'm sorry, guys. I like consistency. If it's not consistent, then it's an outlier. But that's okay. All right, there's a round full of authors like Swan's Proposal that manipulate warp reality like that. I mean, yeah, I get what you're saying, King Zanato edits, but we have to remember, you know what else has authors? You know what else has authors? We just talked about it. You know what else has authors? Here it is. Ah, god dang it, stop doing that! Like, can I just have some You know what, shut up. I hate this thing. Yeah. Anyway, bottom line is... the only other character I would say that's able to compete. Whoa!
If you could write the rest of DB, what would be your ideal final forms / power-up / fighting styles for all Z fighters?
Interesting. Okay. Artist, Uncertified Hater, thank you so much for the $5 donation. So to answer your question, I'm going to keep it very straightforward and also easy to voice. All right. Boy. Wait, did you just say you want me to say boy? I don't even know how Kratos sounds. Or do I? But anyway, if you could write the rest of DBZ, what would be your ideal final forms, power-ups, fighting styles? All right, so first of all, I like what DBZ has already done. To keep true to the formula Toriyama, I would keep most of what they've already done. Personally speaking, I would make it so that Super Saiyan 3 would contain its tail. I would let Super Saiyan 3 contain its tail as it originally was intended to. Yeah, we'll go to google.com, SSJ3. God damn, come on, man. Just let me move. Yeah, mountains, hills, mountains. Whatever. You don't care. The hills are alive! Anyway. So SSJ3 in the original art, he had its tail. I would have kept that, personally. What I would have done is I would have done the original Super Saiyan 3 design here. I would have removed the tail, and I would have made it so that later on in the arc where Goku masters it, he goes Super Saiyan 3. And then that's when you get the long hair, and then he would have went ahead and used this form with the long hair and the tail to fight Majin Buu. And I think that would have been cool. I think overall it would have been more suitable, more appropriate. It would have been really cool. And even then, what I would do, even if he didn't get his tail, I would at least keep the idea that he's going to his primal roots. What I would do after that for the ideal form would be for Super Saiyan God, I would keep it the same. But what I would do is I would allow the Goku to utilize the forms more. Blue, as I've already told you, if I were to rewrite it, Blue would not be introduced until Zamasu arc. Blue would not be introduced until between the Zamasu arc. No, not even Zamasu. It would actually be introduced in the Universe 6 fight. Because in Universe 6, I would make it so that Goku and Vegeta actually unlock the form Blue in that sense. Or rather, Goku unlocks Blue, and then that Vegeta unlocks it when he finally learns about it later. So that would be the new area where I would explore that. Then I would kind of, oh boy. Then after that, I really wouldn't go any further besides that. I would just change mostly like the timing. Final forms I would have is I would have it so that Krillin... Oh, RJ! Thank you for the $4.99 donation. Anime Wang Ling versus Ariel from the manga. Or Raleigh from the manga. I'll answer that in just a moment. So the long story short, Dragon Ball, I would really just kind of keep the story just straightforward, linear, and that would pretty much be about it. I wouldn't really go too much changing everything besides just keeping most forms preserved. My ideal form for Ultra Instinct, though, I would keep the white hair as the most strongest, and I would only show it in rare occasions, and I would make it so overwhelmingly powerful that, it gets the job done. Most of the fights, I would have probably kept Ultra Instinct as... I would have had the white hair flash, but I wouldn't even use the white hair as the final form of Ultra Instinct. I would have just kept Omen to be what it was, to a degree, maybe, because I would have saved the white hair for later. I would have allowed the white hair to show up in a Tournament of Power just to tease it for what Goku needs to unlock later, but I would never show the white hair until, when he's fighting Black Frieza or something, to kind of give an idea of, he needs this to fight Black Frieza. Because that would be the ultimate goal. Other than that, I would just kind of stop it there. And then I would just have it so that characters like Krillin would utilize Shaolin, Taoism, and Buddhism to really reach his high level because Krillin is a monk. I would have him reach enlightenment. Tien, similar case. Gohan, I already told you, I would have him go the Kaioshin path. I know he's I want to do the Saiyan human path. I'm nah, I would have written that for Trunks. I want Gohan to utilize the Kaioshin path, as in he understands the nature of what a Kaioshin is and himself, because he already trained with them. So I would have definitely had that preserved, and I think it would have made a perfect compound balance. Trunks would have been the one who maintains the humanity and Saiyan in himself and creates a hybrid Saiyan form. I would have did something like that. Whereas Gohan, I would have had it more keen to that area. But yeah, that's pretty much it. All right. Let's see here. Next, RJ, Anime Wang Ling versus Arali manga. All right, so Anime Wang Ling. Okay, well, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know how strong Wang Ling is, to be honest. And given not many brought it to my attention, I don't think Wang Ling is going to be stronger than a Raleigh. A Raleigh, so we're talking a Raleigh manga. A Raleigh is kind of a nut job. She doesn't care about rules or reality. She's literally a gag character. Episodes can resolve around her. A Raleigh is intended to be one of the stronger characters. In fact, Raleigh punched her own author in the face. So, I mean, yeah, there's a little bit to consider. And Raleigh literally took the characters of a manga, folded them into a paper as they were trapped in it, and threw it. So, I mean, she probably would leave. And also, I swear, and then this year, huh? Here, huh? Where are you? I'm the author. I swear I'm the author, you know. He's like, hold it right there. Just because I draw a lot of poop doesn't mean I like it. What are you doing? Those kids were picking on me because you made me a wimpy body. Well, nice. So yeah, a Raleigh is literally able to mess with the author. So I don't know, man. Oh, Dems Wood, thank you for the £1 and 1.79 pounds. I appreciate it. God Fusion Goku equals boundless and Goku's greater than Superman. I completely 1,000,000,000% agree. Well, okay, maybe not boundless, but okay. Because I know boundless would be kind of... I mean, it depends. It depends. I mean, if he fuses with me, then I'm pretty much beating everyone's behind. You ain't beating me. I don't care. None of yous are beating me. Not a single character you bring up is beating me.
Except Comida.
Comida can beat me. That's about it. But yeah, a Raleigh, so long story short, I don't think Wang Ling is beating a Raleigh. I mean, a Raleigh literally just... she just kind of made fun of the author. So, I mean, what do you got to say to that? I mean, when you're a character who can make fun of the author and beat him up casually, I don't know, man. Oh, but the Toribot is literally the author. There's nothing you could say or argue about that. So, a Raleigh is literally author level. The same Toriyama who can literally make Krillin self-aware and even tells him, you don't got to pay me for these pages. So, yeah. Dragon Ball isn't over yet. Sure, Goku's gone, but that kid of his will take his place. And the fact that Roshi breaks the fourth wall. Anyway. Yeah. I hope that makes sense. Goku Black. I don't care
What you bench? Mike Tyson can't bench as much as Brian Shaw, but do you think Brian Shaw can fight Mike Tyson?
No, I'm just kidding, bro. That's awesome, though. I'm glad to hear that. We gym bros got to stick together and start, helping each other out, especially in that area. And I can't wait to do more content on getting strong like the Dragon Ball characters and understanding the concept of being strong like Son Gohan. All right. But King Zondo, thank you for the $1.99 donation. I greatly appreciate it. That is awesome. Thank you so much, man. Next up. All right. So, looks like we are reaching the ends meet time. So, it's about time we conclude. Oh my gosh! The Dark Knight!
Scale Asura from Asura's Wrath. Also, when will you do the next video?
The Dark Knight. Well, guess I gotta scale it now, don't I? Alright, fine! I'll do it. But I'll do it in a very concise way. Asura from Asura's Wrath is able to fight Chakravarman. Chakravarman is based on Hinduism, which is literally the creator of the universe. But they were fighting in the void outside the general confines of the universe. Based on what I know there and where they were fighting in their battle, Ashura should scale to 2 different levels. Either A with either A, low multiversal plus, given the ability to scale and fight such,
or B, being able to fight somebody who can control the infinities and confines of all space and time and be 5D. That's the higher end notion, but I got to do a little bit more research on Chakravarman and exactly how Ashura would scale. The third and final notion of composite Ashura is that composite Ashura is actually part of Archie Sonic verse. So, I mean, if you want to go there, I mean, you know, you want to go there. You know, we can go some places. And yes, Saitama also broke the fourth wall. So this is where he is a gag character. No, I'm just kidding. Anyway. But yeah, to answer your question though, on a serious notion, I actually am going to place Asura around the lower multiversal areas from what I remember from the game. If we're talking a little bit of extra content, he could be even stronger. If somebody has additional information, please let me know. I'll be certain to really look and analyze that for sure. Demswood, the Discord link, that's a good question. Just go ahead and meet me on Discord. Yeah. 5D, I can reason with that. I definitely understand. Retro says Arali is faster than Sonic. I agree, because she's like, she doesn't make any goddamn sense. All right. And RJ with another $4.99 donation. Wang Ling defeated his own animator director by going outside from his own animation verse to the real world. Okay, that's really interesting. So the question is, how consistent has Wang Ling done that? And I need to see it happen. Can I type it in? Wang Ling versus animator. Does Wang Ling actually do that? Thank you all for creating this beautiful world. Oh, so is it kind of like Superboy? Because the thing is, I will still give it, I think that's really impressive if this is actually what I think it is. Like, is this edit or is this real? Because then it's going to come down to how is the fictional representation of Wang Ling's real world compared to the actual abilities of Wang Ling? And if it's consistent, then I'd say probably around the level of the basis we know for Xenogoku, but it also comes to another notion, because the animator is not the direct creator of the character. The animator draws the character. Ijimu technically can do similar feats, and so can who else was it who did a similar feat? Animal Man can do something kind of similar by having a conversation with Grant Morrison from DC, and then Superboy Prime went to go beat up the writers or the drawers of him. So it really comes down to how is the feat portrayed. I'm going to say that that's definitely a lot more impressive than I suspected. Only reason I still would give it to Arali is because she's dealing with the author directly, and it's a lot more consistent because her gags don't really care if you're the animator or the general artist, because the way Toriyama drew her is he drew her design to do all of that. Now, I know there's the Arali from the anime who Beerus can erase, and she's the same Arali from the comics, but then the notion comes down to maybe Toriyama just retconned her power to be a lot weaker, or Beerus
is boundless.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. So I don't know. That's a really good point you bring up. I personally am going to, until I look into more context of the feat, I would probably still go with Arali, given that she's consistently beating up Toriyama itself, who is literally the author. Otherwise, you could say they would stalemate, but then it really comes down to, I mean, who's going to win? You know, at that point, it looks like we might have to use Xenogoku in this type of like discussion, but like it still kind of comes down to like, under what confines did the animator have it done that way? Because Bugs Bunny was one time fighting with his animators, but then it also comes down to like, are the animators drawing
Can
it
you
that?
scale Dimentio/Super Dimentio from Super Paper Mario? It might be somewhat an obscure character.
Macadamia, thank you for the $5 donation. Much appreciated. Wow,
Everyone's going crazy. I'm trying to end the stream, and you guys are trying to keep me on the stream. I have to wake up early tomorrow, and I can't even go to sleep because you guys keep donating.
Okay. Okay.
But yeah, overall, I hope that answers your question. Yeah. All right. So. This is why, because Animal Man was literally came to life and had a conversation with Grant Morrison, the actual writer itself, and he was aware that he was a comic character. And then there's the yellow alien. That's why Animal Man can be argued to be outerversal, which I don't even think is the case, because it really comes down to consistency. Because it's like that the author is like, maybe when Grant Morrison is behind it, because that's why we have the term interpretation. We either go with the consistency or others. But to answer your question, Dimentio or Super Dimentio is a very powerful character who's going to threaten all the worlds of Paper Mario from my knowledge. Based on the information that I know about Super Dimentio is that the fact that they could take over all the worlds in general of Paper Mario, and then, of course, the manga, where the literal notion was to take over all dimensions. It really comes down to how many dimensions are within Paper Mario. But the thing about Paper Mario is it's not just there's a X amount of dimensions or numbers, and no, that's not canon. It's really more so along the lines of how many actual dimensions were originally in the game in terms of like other worlds. Because he could say all worlds, which is like infinite worlds. Most people say, oh, 5D. But Mario has in-betweener realms. Like they have entirely different dimensions within dimensions between dimensions. And because there's literally mirror worlds and such that literally are the opposition, and Paper Mario seems to be a separate canon to the normal Mario. Actually, no, because thanks to the other Paper Mario games, it seems Paper Mario is also canonical with other crossovers. And even the hidden boss in Super Mario Bros. RPG, the consistent notion I would personally give for Dimentio on what I know for the Mario cosmology, and my knowledge can be expanded upon further, I would say in the lower complex multiversal realms personally, based on just the confines of what Dimentio is capable of, or Super Dimentio is capable of at max power, especially considering the idea. Now, I know most people say, oh, what about Paper Mario was on a stage and everyone was watching it? Isn't it fiction? I'm like, not necessarily. It's not a fiction within a fiction, though it can be argued because Super Mario Bros. 3 was. But I would just like to say that based on the information I know, I would say Super Dimentio, in my humble analysis, I would place them at a nice, humble, low, complex multiversal. At max power, of course. I mean, it kind of makes sense. Narratively. I mean, it's literally a god of space and time. Well, like a god essence of space and time. So, Dimentio is literally intended to be that strong narratively, too. I bet if we had Shigeru Miyamoto sit down, we'd probably get a similar answer. So, I hope that answers your question in that regard. But yeah, that's... Mario is no joke. Paper Mario is literally a scary being. But yeah. All right. So, with that said, we are going to conclude the stream for today. It is getting late. Of course, very late. Min Ling, it is extremely late. I think it's time we stop the stream before we keep going into an unending rabbit hole.
Oh my gosh, another $4.99 donation
from King Zandu Edits. How much money to read or power scale my future manga? Also, can you wank? Can you wank? I meant, can you rank the warlords in One Piece from weakest to strongest? Sure. How much would it cost? I mean, depends on how long the comic is, what the question is, and honestly, it depends. If I'm interested, I might not even charge you, but it's going to depend on a lot of other factors. But to answer our question, who is the strongest from weakest to strongest? Okay, so let's start with the weakest. First off, the weakest warlord is Gecko Moria. Well, I know people would say buggy, but Doflamingo kind of I mean, maybe buggy is the weakest. I'm going to say buggy first is the weakest. Second weakest is going to be Moria. Third is going to actually fall the crocodile. Fourth, as of current, the fourth is going to be Kuma. Fifth is going to be Doflamingo. Sixth is going to be Jinbei. Seventh, no. I'm going to say Boa Hancock after Kuma, because I believe Boa is stronger than Kuma, or at least relative to Kuma. Relativistic around that area. Boa is extremely powerful. Even being able to beat up pacifistas, no problem. But then again, Kuma was a threat to most people around Dofli and the others level, but I would say Kuma would stop around Boa Hancock's level. So yeah, then it would go Kuma, Boa Hancock. Then I'm going to say next is going to be Jinbei. Then it's going to go to Law, then Blackbeard, and then Mihawk is the strongest. That is who I'm going to personally rank in that regard in that list. Yeah. So yeah, but also, thank you. I know, Buggy's a Yonko. I mean, maybe Buggy did get stronger, but I don't know until Buggy...
Should we invite people to our server? Well, I'll tell you this. I'll invite you to the server. I'll send an invite link that will have a limited time use. Be sure to use it to the best of your abilities, but I will let you know this. You have approximately a granted normal amount of time, so don't you dare go outside of your boundaries.
Whoa! $4.99 donation from RJ. Another $4.99. Goodness gracious. Look at all that. Well, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Scaling Wangling, I'm RJ750 in Discord. Certainly. And I'll be certain to have a listen to that. I would love to get more information. We could probably get more information on that later. Here is the Discord for people looking to join. There's a limited time use.
Be certain to use it now.
Anyway, Andre, somehow, what are you implying, heathen? I'm on Discord. My username is Super Saiyajin 5. Fast. All right. Thank you guys so much, everyone who participated in this Discord. We had a 2-hour and 30-minute stream. I am happy to announce that it was fun being here. I cannot wait to have another power scaling stream with you guys, and perhaps we can do it again another time. Be certain to take care, and I'll see you guys. And if I don't see you, have a happy new year. Or maybe I'll see you before the new year kicks in. Take care, everyone. Have a good night. See you in the Discord. Thank you, Macadamia. I appreciate it. And thank you, Jackal. I'll beat your ass in the Discord later. Just kidding. I'm just kidding, bro. I'm kidding. I love you.
Or do I?
No. Jackal, I'm sorry. All right, as a compensation, I'll think about talking about Doom Guy. How's that sound?
SpongeBob.
All right, peace out, y'all.